Hey everybody, this is Dr. Khadisha, your board certified emergency medicine physician and author of the book Help Us Help You in the Emergency Room. I'm also the creator of the Mobile MD Kit, which will help people greatly stabilize or completely treat multiple illnesses and injuries that might save you an urgent care or ER visit. And I'm also the creator of the mini kit, which contains mask, sanitizer, gloves, which the mobile MD kit contains also. So it's got mask, sanitizer, gloves, forehead thermometer strips, and ear savers in case the loops of any mask that you wear become, stretched out or irritating. So let me just wait and see who comes in. And yeah, anyone who enters, do say hello in the comments or express any concerns or questions that you may have, because I've been seeing multiple reports about this new mutation. So yeah, I just wanted to feel everyone out about it and discuss it some, just so hopefully folks will be all on the same page and people won't be too afraid or too cavalier about the new form of this gene. Okay, so let's see here. And do share this live because we can talk about other aspects of this pandemic or the infection or the virus. So yeah, definitely hit like, definitely share, because there still seems to be a lot of misconceptions about what's going on, and it's contributing to the prolongation of us having, fewer services, fewer travel options, things like that. Do you know that we can't go to Europe right now? Europe does not want Americans over there just because we're not getting a hold of this pandemic the way that we should. And there's multiple reasons for that. So let me just give folks a few more minutes. Or let's see, yeah, maybe not a few more minutes. Okay, I know people have things to do. People still are going to work, even though it's at home. Based on the state that you're in, you might be going into work. So let me know about that also. Okay. So, and I'll just get started. It's 7:35 now. So based on multiple studies, and according to Newsweek, the Houston Chronicle, and some other sources, there's a new mutation that has taken over the original form of the novel coronavirus as we know it. The original form was D as in David 614. The new mutation is G as in George 614 also. So D614 is the first form and G614 is the second form. And according to the journal called Cell, and the journal Cell has been around for, decades. I remember when I was an undergraduate at Johns Hopkins, working in the library at the Eisenhower Library on the undergraduate campus, I remember having to file away editions of the journal Cell. And that was, I don't want to get my age, but it was decades ago. So according to the journal called Cell, there's a new variant of the novel coronavirus, and it's more common now than the previous form that might have started this whole thing, and it's called G614. Hi, Victoria. Thanks for coming in. Thank you so much for being the first to make your presence known in the comments. And yeah, please, guys, definitely share. Thank you for joining me tonight. So and we're talking about this new variant, and then if you have any questions or anything, do put them in the comments. So this G614 variation or variant of the coronavirus has definitely taken over. One study had mentioned that up until the beginning of March, the D614 was the predominant form. But by the end of March, G614 was the more common variant that is causing infections. And it's said to be, and I know this is a wide range, but it's 3 to 9 times more infectious because it multiplies faster in the upper respiratory tract, which means like the nose, the sinuses, and the throat. So if it is multiplying more, that means there's more of them present. There's more of them for someone to shed while they're sneezing, coughing, talking, yelling, things like that with no mask. Okay, so the good news is that while it's more infectious, it doesn't seem right now to be affecting people any more severely than the original form. And in the UK, they did a study of about 1,000 hospitalized COVID patients, and they found that those infected with G614 were no more worse off than those who had D614. So that's good. And I mean, it's good for now, but viruses by nature mutate, they replicate, mutate because they're trying to adapt and become more fit. So this G614 variant is considered to be more fit. And you're probably wondering, like, where is the change in the in the actual organism itself? And the mutation is affecting the spike. So the little projections off the body of it are affected by this mutation. And I think that means that it's making it more effective at attaching to our cells and, piercing the surface of our cells and then injecting its RNA, the replicatory material. So there's hope, though, that as it spreads, and it's spreading faster than the original, that it will be less effective at causing illness. Let's see. So it's basically highlighting the value of what we've been told so far, which is to wear masks and maintain social distancing. And there is, for those of you who don't see the need for wearing masks and doing social distancing, there is literature out there. There are studies being done with videos that show a person coughing or sneezing into their hand versus not wearing a mask, not covering their cough versus wearing certain types of masks. And you could see the fluorescent glycerin spilling out of the side of certain masks. Now, they didn't get as far as 6 feet, but there is some dispersion from the sides of the mask. So that's why we really have to do the masks and the social distancing, because you could see the spray coming out of the sides. And a lot of people aren't wearing masks, which is good. I see more mask wear, but I'm still seeing gapping along the sides, which means that air droplets and things like that could be going in and out of the sides. So, and when somebody coughs or sneezes, based on how forcefully they do so, those respiratory droplets can actually go beyond the advised 6 feet. So, and it can go as far as 12 feet often. And I've also mentioned in some of my other work, slipstream, 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 which is the spray of respiratory droplets behind a person as they are cycling, running, rollerblading, or whatever, like say in the park. Their respiratory droplets extend beyond the 6 feet also. So anyone who is right directly behind them doing that and huffing and puffing, breathing harder and things like that, they are vulnerable to the respiratory droplets of someone who may be as far as 12 feet ahead of them. So I see there are more people watching. Please say something in the comments. Let me know what you think of this information. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. And let's see here. Oh, another thing that I wanted to discuss was the discussion out there about blood types and how that might affect someone's dealings with this infection. Okay, so the studies have shown that, hi Anita, thanks for coming in. Hi Marlene, thanks for coming in. Marlene's my mom. Thanks everybody for coming in. Yeah, definitely type in some questions or comments as you like. So they're saying that people with blood type A are more at risk for severe illness from COVID-19 than people of type O. So there's like a 30 to 45% increase or decrease in vulnerability. So people with blood type A are, about 40% more vulnerable to severe illness, and people with type O are about 40% less vulnerable to severe illness. So do you guys know what your blood type is? That's really good to know. Like I say in my book, Help Us Help You, the more you know, the less you might have to pay at the emergency department, the less you might have to wait in the emergency department. A lot of, so what we're talking about here is the importance of blood type and how you might fare should you be infected by the coronavirus. But it's also good to know in general, because while we still say in the matter of trauma or things like that, we still need to get our own blood testing to see what your blood type is. But say, you're pregnant and you're having some bleeding, having some spotting, things like that, based on your blood type, we may or may not have to give you RhoGAM to protect not your current pregnancy, but the next pregnancy, in case you have certain antibodies that could hurt the next pregnancy. So, there's all kinds of reasons to know your blood type. And I'm not saying that if you're blood type O, that you can go around and not wear a mask or anything like that. Oh, I see the numbers are growing. Welcome everybody. Thank you. This is Dr. Khadisha. We're talking about the new mutation of the novel coronavirus, which is G as in ghost 614. And it's taken over the previous version, which is D as in David 614. We talked about what it might mean, how people are, thank goodness, no more severely infected, but the G614 version is more infectious. It's spreading more rapidly. The G614 version is replicating more rapidly in our nasal passages, our sinuses, and our throats. So those who have the G614, and they're saying that it's most infections now, they've got more virus to shed. And right now, it seems like it's no more problematic than the initial version, but we can only hope, and things always change. Just like from the beginning of March to the end of March, the beginning of March, G614 was the main form, and at the end of March, G as in George 614 was the main form. It could change again. and it could change again. And there are other mutations in addition to the G614 form that they're watching also, but this G614 is the main one. So I see more people have come in. Please join me in the comments. Let me know of any questions or concerns that you have. Tell me if you saw much social distancing this weekend. How did you spend your weekend? Did you see anything concerning? I know there was a large gathering around the pool where I live, and there was not much social distancing going on. I'm also seeing in the news that there is more talk about how wearing a mask is not a political issue. The governor of Texas, Governor Abbott, he has made a public statement, a very public statement, encouraging people to wear a mask. He's the Texas governor. He's a Republican. He is saying wear the mask. It is not a political issue. It's a public health issue. Because the coronavirus doesn't know if you're a Democrat or Republican, all it cares about is the human host that it is infecting. So please, please spread that word. Please take comfort in protecting yourself with a mask, even if you saw it as a political issue before. It's not. This is a human issue. Okay, so let's see some other things. There was a question from an interview that I did on KPFT last week, and you can go to their the Conscious Mindset Facebook page, and it should be up by now because I think it was exactly a week ago when I did that interview. And there was a question about the effectiveness of various mask types. So first of all, I just want to say that anything is better than nothing. So regardless of what you wear, don't feel like you have no protection. However, there are certain kinds of material that are even more protective, such as tea cloth, which you can get in the grocery store, and it's relatively inexpensive tea cloth. Or you can also combine regular cotton with chiffon or cotton with flannel. And those almost mimic the N95 type masks that are a bit more protective than the surgical masks. Now, the surgical masks, as long as you make sure that they are snug against the side of your face, they should provide some protection. And you can see the diagram that I put on my page before and that I put on my Instagram page that shows the relative probability of transmission given a normal person or a person who's not infected who faces an asymptomatic carrier. And when both the asymptomatic carrier and the uninfected person are within 6 feet of each other, and if they both have masks, there's only about like a 1.5% transmission rate. However, if the uninfected person is wearing a surgical mask and the asymptomatic carrier is not wearing a surgical mask and there is no social distancing, if they are within 6 feet of each other, there's almost a 75% chance of transmission from the asymptomatic carrier to the person who's wearing the surgical mask. So, you can always add another layer. There are the cuff type things that are like the turtleneck, of a turtleneck sweater. You can get them on Amazon, and they come in a lot of different designs. You can pull it over your head and then pull it up over your nose. And if you wear a surgical mask underneath that, you have even more protection. But again, cotton and chiffon, cotton and flannel or tea cloth, those are some of the more protective, less expensive forms of the masks. And I also have masks too that you can purchase on my website. I have the cotton type with the filters that go in, and you can get a mask with the exhalation valve, which makes it easier for you to exhale. I know one of the other issues with masks are, that it's getting too stuffy in there. You feel like you're getting too much carbon dioxide and things like that. But the little valve on the mask allows you to get rid of that so that you can wear it in more comfort. And on the topic of the carbon dioxide, what you're experiencing in your mask is not a lethal amount. It's coming from your own body. It's a very low percentage of carbon dioxide. Of course, that percentage can rise, but it's not like a lethal amount of carbon dioxide. However, I know everyone's comfort level is, a comfort level is an individual thing. So, if you feel like you need to remove the mask, take a mask break. I do so at work. You just, go in another room, go to the bathroom, or, whatever, maybe get about 12 feet from people, take off your mask for a little mask break, or go outside, still socially distancing, take it off, take a break, and put it back on. Because we're not going to get past this and get back to normal life, meaning jobs, travel, things like that, unless we do as advised by the healthcare professionals. So proper cleaning. If you have a cotton mask, you can put that in the washing machine, preferably washing it in hot water just to be safe. You can put a thin film of sanitizer on the outside of masks that are disposable. Ideally, though, the surgical mask should be worn for maybe about 4 hours continuously and then be discarded. But I've heard all kinds of things. I've heard about people washing surgical masks. I'm not sure about the effectiveness of that, especially with the fit. So I would highly recommend like the reusable washable mask that you can keep and use and wash over and over and over. So let's see, Victoria says, what percentage of alcohol contained in the hand sanitizer is considered effective? It should be at least 60% alcohol. And that's a great question because there are a lot of people making hand sanitizer out there, people and companies who never made hand sanitizer before. So you want to check the label or go with with a trusted source, and at least 60% of alcohol. Another thing is, people are hearing in the news that, the ERs are in the hospitals are getting filled with people with symptoms. Yeah, we're doing more testing. In Houston, it was found that 1 in 4 people tested are turning up positive. And I actually had a day where we had a number of people come in and half of them turned up positive later. And, people might want to know, like, what kind of symptoms did these people have? Well, let's see. One person had a sore throat and maybe like a low grade temperature. And he and some friends had an Airbnb party. And he was like in his early 20s, about 21. He came back positive. Another person was a gentleman who had been going to the club 2 Saturdays in a row and had been coaching at a private teen basketball tournament 2 days in a row. And yeah, we were really expecting him to come back positive, but he didn't. He didn't come back positive. Let's see. The third person was a bartender who had been exposed to some coworkers who came back positive, and I think she might have been negative. Are 2 layers of 100% cotton effective? Yeah, 2 layers is definitely better than 1, but even more effective is the chiffon or the flannel. Okay, so let's see. And the last person that I recall was a local truck driver who made stops at various, like multiple warehouses around town. And at one of those warehouses, well, they check the temperature. So I think a lot of there are a lot of healthcare practices that facilities have to maintain in order to operate, you know, in these times. And one of the things is checking the temperature of people who enter their establishments. So one of the warehouses found that his temperature was elevated, and he had noted that he was winded while mowing the lawn. And he was a pretty fit guy, almost 50, and he appeared to be in pretty good shape. His oxygen level was normal, as was the young man who had the Airbnb party. You know, oxygen levels about 97, 98%. And let's see, his breath sounds were a little decreased on exam, so we couldn't hear the good air movement like you normally do. And on the chest x-ray, there was the appearance of ground glass on the chest x-ray. So you can see it, and you can go online, you know, for those who think that it's just like the flu and stuff like that. You can type in coronavirus on chest x-ray and you can see it. You see it. I've seen it multiple times, but you know, days before the test results come back, because where I work, it takes days for test results to come back. So you know, if you want to go and get quick testing, you might want to ask the place that you intend to go to how long it takes to get the results back, so that you're not disappointed or frustrated after going through the trouble of getting tested and then being told it takes 5 to 8 business days, because in certain places it takes about 5 to 8 business days to get the results. So Victoria asks, are the symptoms, are the symptoms similar to the SARS infection? And what's the main reason why the drugs used to treat SARS are not effective for COVID-19? So yeah, with and it's interesting because this infection is just the number 2. The SARS infection from the early 2000s was SARS COVID or CoV-1. This is just SARS CoV-2. But there is enough of a difference, you know, back with the SARS infection, you know, it didn't reach this kind of level at all. So, and I remember the SARS infection, yeah, there was fever, coughing, shortness of breath, things like that. And yeah, I don't want to spread too much, you know, don't get me to lying, but yeah, certain symptoms of the SARS and this SARS infection, SARS-CoV-2, are more severe. You know, the children are being affected, you know, with the blue fingers and things like that. And they're just a different genetic makeup. Genes are everything. So, and that's why and let me see, were there drugs for SARS? Because SARS is a virus also. And yeah, I don't recall a specific medication for SARS, just like there's not a specific medication, or it kind of goes back and forth for this current infection. Of course, they were saying before, a various form of chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine was one of the recommended regimens. And then you can add Zithromax, which is used to treat the typical bronchitis that we get. And, they can work, but it depends on the person. And let's see. But yeah, it's the genetic makeup that makes this infection, the SARS-CoV-2, act differently than the SARS-CoV-1. Do you use the chiffon as the second layer of the mask? I would. Yeah, I would put that inside or behind the cotton. So let's see here. I'll try to scroll up. Okay, so let's see. All right, are there any other questions out there? I hope this helps you guys because I just wanted to give a little bit more depth or explanation as to why we're saying to wear masks. Sneezing, coughing, and things like that. If you do it without a covering, those droplets can go as far as 12 feet. If you're wearing a mask that's gapping on the sides, studies have shown that you can see droplets spraying out from the sides. Also, with washing your hands, why does it take 20 seconds? Why should you wash your hands for 20 seconds? Because that's about how long it takes to rupture the membranes, the protective envelope of the virus. The rubbing and the friction and the mixing with the soap's chemical makeup takes about 20 seconds to break up the membrane and neutralize that RNA within that needs that membrane to survive. Because it's all about the membrane and the spikes on the outside. Those spikes are what attach to our cells, and then they drill through our membranes and inject the replicatory material into our cells, because they need our nucleus, the nuclei of our cells, to replicate. So let's see, how long has it been? It's been about half an hour. I don't want to keep you. So let's see. Oh, Toya Butler says, what are the symptoms of the new mutation? And it's the same. It's about the same. So, the fever, cough, shortness of breath, chest pain are the cardinal symptoms. And then, they added chills, repeat chills, headaches, sore throats, muscle aches, things like that. Those can also occur. And even rare cases, even some gastrointestinal symptoms. But yeah, the symptoms of the new mutation, that's a great question, are similar. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please add other comments or questions. Let me know of any other topics that you would like me to discuss in the future, because all the other illnesses are still going around. Nothing has stopped that. And please still get your medical care, still go for your regular exams. Don't be afraid of your doctor's office. There are multiple steps that all facilities are taking to prevent spread, because believe me, they don't want to catch it from you either. So they are taking many precautions to prevent spread of this illness. And yes, thank you so much, Victoria. And again, I'm Dr. Kadisha. I'm your board certified emergency medicine physician. Do check out my best-selling book, Help Us Help You in the Emergency Room. It has a lot of tips. It's a very easy read, lots of pictures, and the tips are listed very clearly. And it also has like a little workbook in the center where you can write in your medical issues, your doctor's information, even issues of the child in your life. You can even write those things down as well. And you can go to my website at www.drkadishamd, just like my Facebook page. And I also have a special PDF on men's health. So, and it's about exercise and nutrition, and that was made in honor of Men's Health Month, which was June. But I think every month should be Men's Health Month. Do get that free PDF on my website, and I will talk with you soon. Follow me on Instagram. Hit like, hit share for this live, and I will see you next time.